A great honor to be here and to be able to share the practice of Spring Forest Qigong with you all. Just wanted to kind of check in to see how many of you are completely new to this practice. How many have never experienced Qigong? Oh, okay. So a little less than half of you here. There are many styles of Qigong. The style that I'm sharing is called Spring Forest Qigong. It was developed by Master Chunia Lin. And I'm here, I've been practicing for over 20 years. I was introduced to this practice at a low point in my life when I was suffering from a lot of chronic pain. My children were very young at the time. They were 4 and 5 years old. And I believe that I had suffered from postpartum depression, but I had really low energy. And so just the host of things, I was practicing as a physical therapist at the time, but I wasn't finding any relief of my symptoms, just having treatment that was solely focusing on the physical body. So when I was introduced to Qigong, I started this practice, and it was just, I'd never heard of it before, but I kept getting bombarded with information about it. And I just was, I think it was a VHS tape at that time, plugged it in and was following Master Lin do this half-hour segment. It's a moving meditation practice, and I just found that I was able to get out of my head into my body. And I don't know what happened in that half hour, but after, I always felt better. So that kept me going, and every day I would just follow along, not really understanding what was happening or why it was happening, but I started to feel more energy. I started to feel something lifting up, something released. And within a couple of months of practicing, that's when I realized all my pain was completely gone. I had a completely different outlook on life, and I dedicated myself to this practice. I had never intended to teach the practice, but the more I practiced myself, I was compelled to go and learn from Master Lin. So I went to Minneapolis, and over a course of 4 years, I studied with him and then became the first certified instructor in Canada. And this is what I've been doing ever since. For the last 15 years, I teach and share this practice. I believe it's a beautiful complementary practice, really, to any healing modality. Qigong is a self-healing practice, and it's thousands of years old. It's not, so when you look at yoga, it's been around for many, many, many millennia. And with this practice, it is one of the pillars of traditional Chinese medicine. So if many of you may have known or experienced acupuncture, Qigong has been likened to acupuncture, but without the use of needles. So the whole tenet behind Qigong is that everything is energy, and we are energy beings. And when we are experiencing any symptoms, so in traditional Chinese medicine, the symptoms that we experience, such as pain, depression, a tumor, a headache, all these symptoms that we experience are due to energy not flowing well in our body. So the whole purpose of this practice is to balance our energy, to help transform any energy blockages in our system. And the way energy blockages get transformed is through the breath, through visualization, through simple postures, movement, and sound, because everything is energy. So these chi blockages, we can release them, we can transform them, and we can get our energy flowing well so that we feel well. The best part of Qigong is you can hear about all the benefits, you can read about all the benefits, but really you need to experience it. This is an experiential practice. So today's focus will really be about you experiencing. We're going to be getting up and doing some movement, moving our energy, and then you see for yourself, how do you feel at the end of today's practice? So as I was mentioning, there are those 4 components. So I'm just going to touch upon each of those components before I kind of guide you through a guided movement practice, which can be done sitting or standing. So the first is the breath, okay? So breath is one of the key components of any type of practice, and how you breathe, really, how you think affects how you feel affects how your energy flows. And have you noticed where your breath is when you're in pain? Have you noticed where your breath is when you're stressed? It's up here. It's apical, it's shallow, and then you tend to breathe more rapidly. So the idea here with Qigong is we slow everything down, we slow down the movements, and we bring our awareness to an area deep behind our navel. So I'm going to guide you through an energy breathing practice just for a few minutes so that you can start to see that wherever your mind goes, energy flows. So if you even think about your belly button, your energy is going to go down there. Because what I've noticed, even from working as a physio for many years, is when people are in pain, when they're stressed, everything's up here. Shoulders are up, It's like you're wearing earrings out of your arms are like the extensions. So bringing awareness to posture, bringing the shoulders down. And before we do this energy breathing, what I'd like you to take notice of is have a look at your hands and just notice the temperature of your hands. Do they feel kind of cool or are they warm? Just noticing the color. Then I also want you to notice the face. So look at your friend, your neighbor's face and eyes. So just have a peek. Check it out. We're gonna do a before and after. All right? Always interesting. People get uncomfortable looking at people in the eyes, right? But this is really an interesting thing that you're gonna notice. We're going to bring our awareness back to our body. So with your feet connected to the ground, sit bones connected to your chair, keeping your spine nice and tall, just relaxing the shoulders. Roll the shoulders back and down. A little key secret in Qigong is this inner smile. It's like a Mona Lisa smile, like you have a little secret. And that energy of that inner smile, it actually helps to release endorphins and helps you to relax your body even further. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, we're breathing in and out through the nose. Again, you're just noticing the breath, not trying to change anything. And now I'd like you to bring your awareness to your navel, to your belly button area. And just imagine there's a soft light shining deep behind your belly button, like the moonlight. This area that we're focusing on is called the lower dantian. Dantian is a Chinese word meaning energy center. This is your vitality center. So we can strengthen our vitality through focused awareness of our breath, breathing into the lower dantian. And it's okay if you can't see this light. You just say so in your mind. You might sense a nice warm sensation deep behind your navel. Some people are more visual, they can see this light. Just connect with the lower dantian. Breathing in and out through the nose. And now I'd like to have you enhance your breathing technique. So now that we're not only breathing in and out through the nose, but we're using our entire body to breathe. We're breathing through our skin. And we connect with the universal energy, this energy of unconditional love that surrounds us. Breathing in this unconditional healing love through every pore of our skin. We collect it into our lower dantian. With each exhale, you are transforming any aches or pains, any stress or worries, any extra energy is being transformed into mist or into butterflies, which leave your body and return back to the ends of the universe. Deep and gentle breath in. As you exhale, feel your shoulders melting down to the ground. As you notice your physical body, you notice your heart, your mind, your spirit are all right here with you. Feel the connection. Feel the oneness. Breathing in through your skin, collecting that nourishing energy into your lower dantian. As you exhale, you release what is no longer serving you. Deep and gentle breaths in, full and gentle breath out. And slowly as we come out of this breathing meditation, gently opening your eyes. You can rub your hands together and massage your face. Going up the bridge of the nose, across the forehead and down the sides. You can massage your ears, top to bottom. It's nice after you do any kind of meditation just to come out and ground yourself, massage your face, your ears. And just take a moment now, noticing how you're feeling. And I want you to go back to your hands and just notice, what do you notice? Difference in temperature, in color? Have a look at your friend's face and eyes. You see a little bit more of a sparkle? Yeah, it's amazing. Whenever we lead my Qigong classes, even after half an hour of the session, it's amazing how things just shift for people. Like just more of a sense of calmness, but you feel energized as well. So it's an energized calmness. Isn't that interesting that you can experience both? So with that, the energy breathing, that's on the handout. Such a simple technique, but you can do this anytime throughout the day. And so I recommend, and from what I've seen, just so many people are just not breathing well. So if you can start bringing in a couple of minutes throughout the day, and I've put what I call the red light technique. So anytime you're stopped at a red light, anytime you're waiting, those are opportunities to bring in this energy breathing. So when I first started, as I said, my children were really young. I spent a lot of time in my Toyota Sienna driving across Calgary, very stressed out all the time. But then I started doing this every time we stopped at a red light, and immediately started to feel, again, my shoulders would start to drop. And then it was a habit. I had to unbreak this habit that I had created within myself. I was always in this stress mode all the time. So bringing in the breath throughout the day, being very conscious, being very mindful of it. Again, that started to calm me down, and it started to just help me feel more grounded. And it also brought me energy. So what happens when we are breathing well, especially when we incorporate this energy breathing, we are soothing the nervous system. So we go from the sympathetic mode, the fight, fright, freeze mode, to the parasympathetic mode, the rest, digest, and heal mode. So, and we are increasing oxygenation of the blood. So when you're breathing well, the best gas exchange happens in the lower portions of the lungs, not up here. So we want to breathe in slowly, deeply, and gently. So this energy breathing can be done as a standalone practice. We're also going to incorporate it into our movement meditation practice. So I wanted to bring that to everyone's awareness. Now, the second component of the practice is the use of the mind and visualization. So the mind is a very powerful director of energy, and wherever your mind goes, energy flows. We use the visualization of light. So I'll instruct you throughout the guidance, you're just visualizing this column of light inside of your body. There's a light in your lower dantian. Don't worry if you can't see the light, you just say so in your mind. Okay, I didn't see the light when I first started, but then it's something that can develop as you practice more. But you'll still get the benefit just by saying so in your mind. But just to show how powerful our minds are, I always do this little practice where we grow our fingers in this practice. So I want everyone to experience it for those who haven't yet. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your one hand and then look at the bottom of the palm, the first line at the bottom. Take the other hand, first line at the bottom. You're going to line them up, and then what you'll notice is that the fingers on one hand are a little bit shorter than the fingers on the other. Correct? Yeah? Maybe not all the fingers, maybe there's just a few, but you'll notice there's a slight difference. So for me, my right hand has shorter. So I want you to take whichever hand has the shorter fingers, raise it up above your head. The other hand, you're just going to rest on your lap, relax your shoulders, have that gentle smile on your face, and you're sending a message from your mind. You're directing energy, telling the fingers above your head, fingers are growing longer, longer, and longer. You're going to repeat this message with absolute confidence. My fingers are growing longer, 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 and longer. Feel your fingers getting longer, longer, and longer. A nice, gentle breath in. Exhale, feeling your fingers getting longer, longer, and longer. You may start to notice some tingling, some warmth in the finger joints as the fingers continue to grow longer, longer, and longer. Nice, gentle breath in. Exhale. And now let's reevaluate. Line up the hands and take a look at your finger lengths. You didn't come here to grow your fingers, did you? But did you grow your fingers? Okay, now you didn't come here like that. I have to make sure you leave the way you came. Put that hand back up. And you just need to say it once. Fingers are back to normal. Quick shake. And reevaluate. And you should be as you are. Yes? What did you do here? How did this happen? We used our mind to direct the energy. So the intention. And intention sets energy into motion. And we gave it a command to grow the fingers. So you actually, if you were to measure your fingers before and after, you will notice that you created space. And you created space in the cells and in the joints, and you grew your fingers. I know what you guys are thinking. I'm not going to answer that question about other parts, but think about what you're thinking about and your thoughts. Are your thoughts helping or hindering the energy flow in your body? Because remember, how you think affects how you feel affects how your energy flows. So this practice is going to help you realize the importance of your mind and how we can direct energy, and what type of messaging are we giving our body when it comes to the healing process. If you are in pain, and if you talk about your pain all the time, you stay in this vortex of pain. So we are learning in Qigong to redirect our flow and our focus. Whatever you focus on magnifies. So if, say, one shoulder is really bothering you, and you talk about it and you give it a lot of attention, try this experiment at home. Focus on the other side, or any part of your body that feels good. Keep your focus on what feels good. And just notice how that shifts your perception of how the other side feels. It's a practice, because our tendency is to be symptom focused, and then we just hyper focus on what's not working well in the body. So here we're going to learn how to redirect our energy. So with that, we're going to move into the next part of our practice, which is the movement meditation practice. So each of the postures that we hold, each of the movements that we do serve a purpose to redirect the energy flow in our body. So remember I said Qigong is like acupuncture, but without the use of needles. We have these meridians or energy channels throughout our body where energy flows. However, there's things that can happen that can create blockages. So chi blockages in the meridians. And we know that we can transform those chi blockages. So when you think of energy flowing in our body, it's like how water flows in a river system. It's meant to flow smoothly and harmoniously. However, again, in a water system, you can get a dam, you can get a blockage, a physical blockage, which will impede the flow of water. But if you get rid of that physical dam, energy, the water goes back to its natural state of flow. And it's the same thing in our body, in our meridian system, in our energy channels. It can go back to its natural state of flow. So each of the postures are helping to transform chi blockages, each of the movements that we're doing. Okay, because we have many energy points in our body. So for example, down the central part of our body, there's all these energy points. There's all these energy points in our hands. So when we hold our hands in a certain posture, we're activating energy. And the word Qigong, Qi is this life force energy. It's an energy with intelligence. Gong is to work. We're working with energy to help create a healthy and balanced body, mind, and spirit. The healing that happens is not just at a physical level, it's also mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So this is why 20 years later, I continue to do this practice. I have, released a lot of the physical types of ailments that I was having, but I find that, life happens, stress happens. So this practice helps keeps me grounded, it helps keep me calm. Okay, one of the main things that cause chi blockages is unbalanced emotions. So we'll be bringing in the power of positive emotions in the practice. Your diet will also affect the chi blockages, can create chi blockages, medications, the side effects, physical injuries, your environment. So all these things can contribute, but the number one cause of chi blockages, almost 80 to 85%, as Master Lin shares, is unbalanced emotions. So let's begin our practice. I'm just going to guide you along. So as I mentioned, you can sit, you can stand. We start off with a little bit of a warm-up. So with your feet shoulder width apart, you might need a little elbow room, so make yourselves comfortable. We're going to move some chi, everyone. So feet shoulder width. Let's begin bouncing. Bring your awareness to your knees. So you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And that gentle smile on your face. And you can teleport yourself to your happy place in nature, perhaps. I'm teleporting myself to Canmore right now. That's my happy place. A lot of healing properties when you're out in nature. We're letting go of tension. Let's bring the arms up over the head. Relaxing the wrists, softening the shoulders. So with your arms up above your head, we are redirecting the energy flow. We're helping to open up the heart energy channels, the lung channels. If you're ever feeling congested or stuffy-headed, just bounce with your arms up above your head. You'll be amazed at how that can clear the nasal passages. And let's bring the arms down and gently rotate around your body. Just imagine yourself as a child, 5, 6 years old, playing outside on a beautiful sunny day. And I welcome you to bring in that childlike curiosity and joyfulness into the practice. Slowing down. Settling into your body. I want you to imagine this beautiful light flowing from your heart center out through your arms and through your fingertips as we tap. We're going to tap some key energy points underneath the eyes in the middle of the cheekbone area. These are your stomach energy points. Relax the shoulders. Breathing into the belly. Now tapping the beginning of your eyebrows, the bladder energy points. Forming a cup with your hand, we're going to cup the top of the head. We're going to cup the base of the head. So place one hand on the forehead, cupping the base. And then massaging the C7, the 7th cervical vertebra. When you bend your neck forward, it's the one that sticks out the most. Just gently massaging in a circular way. Energy tends to get stuck here. It's a narrow passageway. Gently massaging. And we're going to activate the heart points. So in the middle of the palms, that connects to the heart. We're going to clap 9 times. The inside of the elbows. Other side. Unhip. Loose fists, we're going to tap the tailbone and the sacrum area. It's the most bottom portion of the spine. And as we cup this area, this is one I highly recommend you do throughout the day, especially when you get up from sitting. You're directing energy to your spine and to your brain. It helps with mental clarity. So in the afternoon, instead of reaching for that cup of Java, reach for your fists and tap your tabla. So it helps with mental clarity, so it's helping your brain. And then tucking your thumbs in, and with your thumb knuckle, we're going to tap just behind the hip joints. So in the buttocks region, if you have any issues with sciatica, peripheral neuropathy, or any cartilage issues in the hips, the knees, this is a great point to tap. And you can do this a minute, 2 minutes, anytime throughout the day. There's no deleterious effects, no side effects from this. You can do this throughout the day. And then let's bring the arms down by the sides, settling into our body. So we assume the beginning Qigong stance, your feet shoulder width apart. Imagine your feet sinking 9 feet down into the earth. And as you travel up the body, the knees are soft. Your spine is tall. Imagine a string at the top of your head guiding the crown of your head upward. Roll the shoulders back and down. The elbows are out, the fingers are open. Gently tucking your chin in as you rest your tongue behind your front top teeth. We now change our breathing pattern. We're breathing in and out through the nose. Bringing your awareness to the light in your lower dantian. So we move into our energy breathing, connecting with the universal energy. Breathing in this healing and nourishing energy through every pore of our skin, collecting it into our lower dantian. Exhaling and releasing, transforming any chi blockages in our body into beautiful butterflies, which leave the body and return back to the ends of the universe. Deep and gentle breath in, full and gentle breaths out. As you focus on the light in your lower dantian, set your intention for your practice today. What is your purpose for practicing? For healing, for balancing, to have more energy, or simply to connect to a deeper sense of calmness? And then connecting to the divine, to source energy, as we say a password in our mind. I am in the universe. The universe is in my body. The universe and I combine together. And you feel the stillness, the quietness. Bringing your right hand, your palm will face your upper chest. Your left hand, your palm will face your navel. Soften into the stance, keeping space between your body and your hands, space between your fingers. Imagining a transparent column of light inside of your body, from the top of your head to the bottom of your torso. And this light is nourishing your spine and all of your internal organs. Continue to take in those slow, gentle, deep breaths. Moving of yin and yang, taking your top hand and moving it out, down and away from your body. Your inside hand slowly moves up the torso. So you create this elliptical pattern with your hands. The slower that you move, the better it allows you to feel. Focus on the feeling of the flow of energy with your hands. Allow yourself to soften into your knees. There's no right or wrong way to do this practice. It's about your own comfortable pace and within the range that feels good for you. Bringing your awareness to the healing emotion of happiness. Each emotion has a specific frequency and vibration affecting our organ systems. Happiness helps to transform any anger or frustration which can get caught up in our liver. Bring to mind something in your life that makes you happy, and that brings a smile to your face. Whatever you focus on magnifies. So we connect to happiness, breathing in happiness through every pore of our skin. With each exhale, releasing what is no longer serving us. Welcoming in happiness into every cell of our being. If you notice your mind starting to wander, just smile and gently guide it back to your breath and back to this present moment. As we slowly complete the cycle, ending with both palms facing your navel for females, right hand in and left hand out, and opposite for males, left hand in, right hand out. Breathing into your lower dantian. Exhale as we move to the breathing of the universe. Inhale as you float the elbows and hands out to the sides. Gently bend the knees. Exhale as you bring your palms closer together, gently straightening the knees. Inhaling and expanding. Exhale. You may notice or feel a compression of energy between your hands. So you coordinate breath with movement, going at your own comfortable breathing rate. If you're comfortable, you can close your eyes, tuning your awareness inwards. Bringing your awareness to the healing emotion of joy, helping to support your heart. Joy is happiness for no particular reason and for every reason. We're surrounded by this abundant supply of joyful energy. We draw it in as we breathe in joy through every pore of our skin. Exhaling and transforming any chi blockages in our body into mist or into butterflies that joyfully leave our body and return back to the ends of the universe. Breathing in joy. Slowly completing the cycle. Both palms face each other. Breathing into your lower dantian. Imagine you're holding onto an energy ball between your hands. Gently start to roll this energy ball. Visualize that your own body's energy is inside of this ball. Your energy is being completely renewed, completely balanced. Focusing on the feeling between your hands. You can play with your energy ball, make it a little bit larger. Notice how it feels. Palms face each other. And then make the energy ball small, the size of a baseball. Just focusing on the feeling as you bring your awareness to the healing emotion of peace. Peace helps to transform worry, overthinking, which can affect our stomach, our pancreas, our spleen. Breathing in peace through every pore of our skin. Feeling so grounded. Feeling peaceful. We're training ourselves to focus on these positive healing emotions, which will impact our energy flow in a more positive way. Breathing in peace. Slowly completing the cycle. Breathing into your lower dantian. And we'll connect fingertips and thumb tips. Fingertips point down towards the floor. Take half a step out as you widen your stance. Rolling the shoulders back and down and soften into your knees. As we inhale, we're going to shift and transfer weight. 70% of the weight to one leg, 30% remains on the other. Exhale, shift, transferring to the other side. Breathing into one side. Breathing out to the other. Get out a gentle rotation if that's available to you. Shift, transfer, bringing one shoulder forward. Shift, transfer, as you bring the other shoulder forward. So you create a gentle spiraling effect in the spine. And you move in your own meditative rhythm. Activating the energy channels in the hands. So imagine you're just holding onto a piece of paper, activating those energy channels. Breathing into one side, breathing out to the other. As we bring our awareness to the healing emotion of contentment. Contentment helps to transform grief, sadness, depression, which can get caught up in our lungs. Breathing in contentment. And choosing to feel satisfied in this present moment. welcoming in ease into the movement. Let there be ease in your breath. Allowing this feeling of ease to spread throughout your body. As we slowly complete this cycle, bringing your feet back to shoulder width distance, turning fingertips upright, resting your thumbs at your heart center, keep the shoulders rolled back and down. As we connect with our heart's energy, inhaling with a gentle bow, hinging from the hips. Exhale, straightening your spine. Inhaling down with a gentle bow. Exhaling up. As we bring our awareness to the healing emotion of gratitude. Gratitude helps to transform fear, which affects our kidneys, which affects our life force energy. Bring to mind something in your life that you are grateful for. Whatever pops into your awareness in this moment. Saying thank you from your heart. There are many blessings in our lives. When we start to pay attention to them, we start to notice even more things to be grateful for. And then turn that appreciation and gratitude inwardly towards yourself. Thanking your organs, your bones, your joints, all your muscles, your tissues, all parts of yourself. So you start to have a kind internal dialogue with yourself. Your body appreciates being appreciated. Breathing in gratitude and feeling so thankful. So we slowly complete the cycle. Bringing our awareness back to our lower dantian, resting the palms of your hands on your navel. We harvest the chi that we have cultivated in this practice. Visualizing that energy ball filled with light at the lower dantian is spinning faster and faster, getting brighter and brighter, and smaller, turning into a small energy pill, the dan, which we will tuck in deep behind our navel. Please take 3 gentle deep breaths. As you bring your awareness back to this room and back to your body, and coming out of the meditation, we do some soothing exercises, rubbing the hands together, palms to palms, and then massaging the face in that heart-shaped pattern, going up the bridge of the nose, across the forehead, down the sides. Massaging your ears from top to bottom. Let's cup the arms, shoulder to wrist, inside and out. The other side. Down the sides of the torso, armpit down to waist. This is really good for the lymph system, for breast health. Putting down the front of the torso, top to bottom. Interlacing your fingers to massage your lower abdomen from your right to your left. Feel the warmth from the palms of your hands penetrate deep into the lower organs. And gently bending forward, we want to cut the kidney area. Massage the kidneys with the backs of the hands. And then massage with the palms of the hands. Take a moment just to hold your kidneys, directing that loving kindness to your kidneys, to all your organs, to your entire body. And with loose fists, let's tap the tailbone and sacrum again. And resting your arms down by your sides. Just take a moment to pause. So you scan your body from head to toe. Just noticing how you're feeling. And let's end with one final peaceful breath in as we inhale, bringing arms up above your head. Exhale down with an audible sigh. Connecting hands and hearts. Thank you, everyone. Sharing the practice and sharing your energy. Thank you. All right. Time-wise. So while everyone's just settling, coming back to this reality, we have time for some questions. So if there's anything or any comments, how are you feeling? So that was a shorter practice, but it doesn't take long to experience that sense of calmness. So it's that energized calmness that you can have. So it's something like, even if you have 5 minutes, you can bounce and you can just do one of the movements. But just make sure after you do it, because you can go, it's amazing how quickly you can go deep into a meditative state. So make sure you come out of it by rubbing the hands and massaging the face at a minimum, just to bring yourself back. Yeah. So any comments, any questions? Yes?
Just curious about the links between Tai Chi, various forms of Tai Chi and Qigong. Obviously, much of it is the same.
Yeah, they're very closely related.
Not all.
Yeah, and Tai Chi is like a martial arts form of Qigong. So Qigong is simpler and there's less movements. In Tai Chi, there's a sequence of movements that you learn. There's healing benefits to both. Yeah. Have you done Tai Chi before? Yeah. Yeah, and you can take Tai Chi and take some of the movements from there and make them very Qigong-like by slowing it down and making them repetitive. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of research, especially for Tai Chi, to show the benefits that Tai Chi has on cardiovascular function, on mobility, on balance, So yeah, it's wonderful. We don't have as much for Qigong, but there's definitely a lot more out there for Tai Chi. Mhm. Yes?
I noticed that you alternate between breathing in the nose and breathing out the nose, and then also breathing in the nose and out through the mouth. What is the difference in terms of like the energy, and how do you know when to switch from the nose breathing to nose and mouth breathing?
Great question. Yeah, so in the beginning, when we start our warm-up exercises, we breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. So that's a detoxifying type of a breath. And then when we go into the meditative part of the practice, where we want to circulate the chi, we're in and out through the nose.
So during the practice?
During the practice, yeah, unless you're congested or whatever, you do the best you can, but we want to keep that energy flowing within us. If you breathe out through the mouth, then you're releasing some of that energy.
Yeah, I find out there's so much internal heat happening.
Yes, heat is one of the things that you'll experience,
Yeah.
which is very healing. It's actually a good thing. So people may have had different experiences with the practice. You may have felt a lot of heat. Some people get cold. You might feel tingling throughout the body, vibration. Some people get emotional. It's all good, better out than in. So if things are flowing, that's a great thing. And for me, when I first started, my right eye, my right nose would leak profusely. And that was my body's way of just trying to get to balance. So I always make sure I have tissue at hand if that happens. If it happens, don't be alarmed. Again, it's your body's so intelligent. So when we're activating this intelligence when we do our practice. So if you're experiencing those things, not to be alarmed, it's just the chi flowing. So it's good. Anyone else? Any ahas? Anything? Was this too fast for you? What do you think? I'm being facetious. That's the first thing people say is this is so slow.
So Munira, how would you suggest that people take this home? In the sense of how would they establish a practice in terms of formal and in the moment? So how can they develop their practice?
So I start with the breath. Breath awareness is one of the key things. So if you start to notice, the thing is, if you're aware that if you're upset, or if you are aware of that you even have pain, if you can go to your breath and bring your awareness to that area deep behind your navel, and just start taking deep breaths into the navel, that's a great way to start shifting a pattern. So taking those deep breaths, and then that can be in the moment. For a formal practice, I recommend people start off, less is more. So start off with 5 minutes. So if there was, just the bouncing, there's so many benefits to bouncing. So you don't have to buy a little mini trampoline, you just gotta bounce. You just need to move, it's so important for the lymph. You bounce and you can take one movement. My favorite is the moving of yin and yang. So I would bounce, I would do maybe 5 or 10 minutes of this, and then come out in the meditation with the rubbing hands, massaging the face. So that can be sort of your formal practice. If you can do something at the same time every day, it helps create a habit. So if you start off in the morning and say, okay, when I get up in the morning, even before you brush your teeth, you just get a bounce and move some energy. And then that becomes, stack it with something. So it's you get out of bed, you do your Qigong, or you brush your teeth, you do your Qigong. So something like that, just to keep it simple. There's a 100-day calendar, which maybe I'll just send and link to. But if you check that off every day, that physical act of checking, it does something to help motivate you. Because it takes 60 some days, 66 I think is what the research shows, for you to create a new habit. So the 100 days of Qigong, if you were to say, okay, every day for 10 minutes, I'm gonna do this, and you check it off, you'll be amazed at how quickly you can start seeing the shifts in your own body. And it impacts everything. So it doesn't just impact you from that physical level, as I was mentioning. It impacts your relationships. It impacts peak performance in sports. You should have seen my year of soccer after I started. Oh, I was a superstar. I haven't replicated that year, but it just enhances anything and everything that you do. So yeah, keep it simple and come back to that awareness, that breath awareness. And the other thing I like to just tell people is movement is medicine. I think that's why, from that physical perspective, we need to move, our bodies need to move. So the exercise part is very important, but you can see in Qigong, the movements are done very slowly. And they're designed specifically to move the Qi. So that's why they're done slowly and repetitively, versus going to a gym and working out, which also has benefits as well for cardiovascular function and for building muscle strength. I consider this as inner size. So you need to balance the inner size and the exercise. Okay.
And if someone wanted to, could they go to your website and do you have videos that, like trying to remember everything that you've done here today is a bit daunting, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can they go to your website and are there videos that you have there that say, okay, here's an introductory Qigong practice that you can do, here's a more advanced practice?
Yeah, I have on my website, so just my name, munirajiwa.ca. There's a Chi Tips page, so I have a short 10-minute practice there, so you can access that. There's a lot on YouTube. If you were to even just Google Spring Forest Qigong practice, lots of different practitioners sharing the practice. This is the style that I'm sharing. There's many other styles of Qigong and they're all good, but it's sometimes you just want to pick one style and then work with it and see how it impacts you. I have free online pop-up Qigong. So this Monday evening at 6 o'clock. So from 6 to 6:30, you can just sign up. And if you can't join live, there is a replay of that. So those are half-hour practices. But every little bit, there's a cumulative effect. So it doesn't have to be a daunting task that you think that you need an hour to get the benefits. Even the 5 minutes or 10 minutes that you start doing, every day makes a huge difference. And then eventually, this is more than just a practice that we do. It's a way that you live your life. And loving kindness is one of the important things with our practice. It's how you're approaching practice for yourself, and this ripples out into the world. So I think the whole world right now can use a little bit more loving kindness.
How
Yes.
come it takes into account so many modalities like tapping and stuff? Like you'll see people just do tapping
Yeah.
as a modality. Did that?
They're all connected, they're all related, and it just, and some modalities were focused just on the tapping, and you can see if the EFT, emotional freedom technique, they're using the tapping, those same meridian points, and they're incorporating emotions with that too. So somehow, however, Master Lin, who created this, we're activating the the energy buttons of the body, so we're preparing it for the practice. So you'll see correlations, with different modalities. So it's not that they're, they all complement each other.
Yeah, there's just not a lot that take into, this was kind of yoga, a bit of Tai Chi maybe, tapping, breathing. It was a lot of different things that were sort of.
Yeah, incorporated together.
So I was wondering how that developed.
Over years, it's been around for thousands of years, right? Qigong has been around for 3,000-4,000 years at least. And, it originates in China, and it's a different lineage from yoga, the yogic tradition, right? So this is how the sages at that time, they observed nature, they observed animals and how they were moving, and they came up with these different styles and forms of Qigong. So some of them look very like they're animal, like there's different names for the different styles. There's thousands of styles of Qigong. But what Master Lin has done is he studied in China and he moved to America because he got the message in his meditation to make this accessible. So he's made this very simple, it's accessible, anyone can practice regardless of age or ability. That was his mission, is a healer in every home in a world without pain and suffering.
You had your hand up.
Oh, great kind of answer what I was gonna ask.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's another thing that happens with Qigong. You learn to read people's minds and you start to answer them. Yes,
You've met Master Lin.
I have, yes.
I've read his book.
Oh, okay.
Is he the healer that he speaks of in his book? That he's healed people from all kinds of conditions and.
Yes, and as a healer, we are assisting. Like, you are the number one healer for yourself. So he's helping people to activate that wisdom within themselves. So I like to use that word carefully because it's not someone doing something to you. You're helping you to activate that wisdom that you have within yourself. And we all have that. We're all born with this innate ability to help ourselves and to help others to heal. Yeah, it's an amazing book. So Master Lin's story was quite phenomenal because he grew up in China through the Cultural Revolution, and he suffered a lot, and he had a lot of debilitating arthritis in his knees. He could barely stand, And he had suicidal depression, and he cured himself from that. He went to, it was in a soccer field. A Qigong master was leading a meditation, and within that 8-hour session, so much had cleared within his body. And then 2 months more after that, he continued. He was just so fascinated. He dedicated his life to learning more about Qigong. And now he was a professor at university there in China. But then he made it his life's mission to become, he became a Qigong master, and his vision and mission was to spread and share this practice. So, yeah, quite phenomenal.
When did he die?
Oh, he's still alive.
Oh, he's still alive?
Yeah, he will be celebrating his 30-year, the anniversary is in May, actually. So I'll be going to Minneapolis for that celebration. So Spring Forest Qigong has been around for 30 years. Yeah. Yeah, and since the pandemic and COVID, and since the online, access, it's just grown exponentially. And again, I think mainly because of the simplicity. He's kept things very simple, because usually the most powerful things in life are the simplest. So you don't have to add a lot of fluff to this. Keep it simple, and the essence of the practice really is in his message is that you're connecting to your heart also. And as you do this practice, and you're kind in how you approach it, it just opens things up for you. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just a question, I know I could probably ask my wife. I'll never remember. Are there different, and I don't know if this is the right word, when it comes to the movements, are there different levels of movements, or, the session we went through, are there other kinds of movements, or?
There are. Yeah, so these are the fundamental movements that we learn, and then if you go deeper into the practice, then there are different exercises that we do and different meditations as well when you're wanting to go deeper. Yeah, and it's all about balancing the yin and the yang in our bodies. And Master Lin has said, when you have more physical issues in your body, you might spend more time doing the movement practice, but you still do a sitting meditation. So it might be like 70% to 30%. Then as things start to clear in your body, then you may go to 50-50. And then when you start to go deeper into the meditations, you might still do the movement practice, but it might be 30% movement. And then what I find is when you do the movement practice first, it helps ground you. And then you'll find that a sitting meditation, you can go even deeper. Yeah. So there are different levels to answer your question. Yeah. But really everything you need is in the fundamentals. And then what you'll find is that you access your inner guidance. Everyone has an inner guidance system, and we all have this wisdom when we start to listen to our internal guidance system. We all have the wisdom that we can access. So everything that we need really is within us, and as we meditate, all the answers are there for us. I'm sure you've heard that before, probably, right? Yeah. We all know that. Yeah. Anyone else?
So what is the meditation practice that goes with the movement practice? Is it a traditional focused breath awareness, or what is it that he suggests in association with the movement?
So the one main one that he teaches is called the small universe meditation, and it's focused breath, and we're moving the energy point to point. There's 12 points, and it's in a circuit in the body. And he'll be chanting Om and Mwa while we move. So we create, it's kind of like a dawn track, a track in our body, where this energy ball is going to move. It's kind of like when you go cross-country skiing and you want to set a track, right? If it's fresh snow, you have to focus and concentrate, or you have to keep doing it till that track is set. So it's the same kind of thing. We want to move this energy. It's on the front and the back channels of our body. So we learn it. It's called the small universe. But there's a simplified version where we just the energy breathing, but it's focused to the lower dantian. So what we just did, that energy breath, you can just imagine you're breathing just into the lower dantian. Think of it as your battery pack. So we can strengthen our vitality, focusing on this area. And then, because every bit of energy that our body needs, we can access from here. So you can do a very simplified just energy breathing as a meditation component. And we add the sounds. I didn't get a chance to get into the sounds today, But there's some sounds, some healing sounds that we can incorporate. Yes?
So, this practice of Qigong, I mean, it does have roots in China. Similarly, in India, there was yoga.
Yeah.
There's similar practices of pranayama and things like that. So do the two contradict each other? Like, do you recommend doing one versus, not versus the other, but one at a time? Or can they be done complementary to each other?
You know, you can do, and I have done yoga as from more of a physical way to open up the body, and I find then doing the Qigong after is very beneficial. So anytime you work on the physical body first to loosen up, to relax, then I find then moving the Qi is easier, because Qi does not move well through stiff muscles and joints. Okay, but there are certain yoga practices that are more energy based, so like Kundalini yoga. I would not recommend that you do both of those together. Do them separate. So it's okay to do them, but just do them separate, because you could confuse the body from an energetic, because you're moving the energy in different ways.
Right, and by separate, you mean not at the same time?
Not at the same
Right.
time. Yeah.
And sorry, one more question. So the practice of the small universe, is it available anywhere online to be able to see and access to see how it?
The Spring Forest website has it, and I believe, actually I do have a replay page where it has a shortened version of it, so you can access it just to learn. And if you want the full version of it, then you can get it from the Spring Forest site. So again, I can link that. Would that be helpful? Yeah, okay.
What was the point? What was this?
Bladder, these are the bladder energy points. And this is a good one, you know, when you're talking about calm and, you know, when people are worried, we're talking about how different emotions affect different organs. So people that, if you worry a lot, or you just tend to think and you're in your heads a lot, it's interesting how then it impacts your stomach, your pancreas, your spleen. So tapping, you can tap this point, and there's healing sounds for each of these. So maybe I'll have to come back and do another one on healing sounds, but who? So I find, so do it with me right now. You can tap and you can just chant. Breathing in peace. So there's a bonus one for tonight. The other thing is you can even massage or place your hands, you can rub them and place them on your stomach, pancreas, spleen, and do the same thing, just chanting that whoo sound. You'll be amazed that, again, it gets you out of your head into your body, into the present moment. Chanting is very powerful.
There's nothing serious for all the organs.
Yes, there's sounds that pertain to each of those, yeah. Yeah, but it's amazing how if you've ever been caught in that loop, that cycle, where you just can't get out of this, that loop, I was one of those people. When you chant, it just breaks that loop, and then you can get right into your body. Yeah, very powerful. So when you're driving in Calgary, just chant. Flash your inner smile to your neighbor and chant. That energy is felt, so you know, you don't realize, but there is a ripple effect. So as we work and do these things ourselves, there's a ripple effect, and it's felt. Yes.
Is there one that's good for sleep, the Qigong move?
You know, the small universe meditation actually is excellent to do before you go to bed. These movement practices aren't advisable to do too close to bedtime, because they can be energizing. So it's usually best to do them like morning or early evening. The breathing exercise, just focusing on the lower dantian and just doing that energy breathing that we did right at the very beginning. That's a great one to do if you're having any issue sleeping, or if you wake up, you know, instead of going, oh, I'm awake now, just start breathing. Focusing on that, and you'll find that will help calm everything down. It takes time to kind of, you know, break the loop. But again, there is that cumulative effect. So again, throughout the day, if you can start remembering, set a timer. So every hour on the hour, you just do 3 energy breaths. You'll be amazed at how that can reset your system. Yeah. Anyone else? And if things do come up, and because we're doing this in the evening, you might have interesting dreams or sleep really interestingly tonight. I always love to hear, but my contact information's there, so you can email me if you have questions by all means. I do have that extra chi tips and whatnot on my website and the pop-up Qigong. So, you know, my mission, I love this practice and I want as many other people to experience it, because as I said, it really is, it augments and complements anything that we do. And the more people that are happier and calmer in this life, the better. So I'm on a mission. For everyone to connect to calm, so.
Is there anybody who shouldn't practice Qigong, or are there certain people for whom it's not suitable?
What Master Lin has shared is that it's not suitable, but if someone has any kind of psychiatric condition, that they practice in a group, in a well-lit room and with eyes open. It has benefits, but if you close your eyes, it's not advisable, just for that population.
Is there, what's the reasoning behind the right hand over the left and in a circular motion and the reverse for the men?
It just has to do with yin and yang balancing, yeah. So if you were to put the opposite hand in what I said, you're not gonna turn into the opposite either, so you don't have to worry. It just, everything that is done is to balance yin and yang. So yin is the female, yang is the male, the more active, fiery. Yin is more spiritual. So it's just about the energy. So think of it more from an energetic perspective, balancing yin and yang. Is everyone ready to go to sleep?
I think that concludes our evening. Perhaps you'll shut the recording.
Do you want to just give 3 take-home points to the group that they can go home with, or whatever you feel would be
Sure.
helpful?
Yeah, I think the first thing is just keep it simple. Smile and just be kind. Those are the 3 takeaways that I'd like you to incorporate, you know, as bringing this into your life and just living in general. Keep it simple, smile, and be kind. Thank you.
Those are wonderful words of wisdom.